Hello again and welcome to Third Eye Africa TV. We are on to democracy in action. We can't talk about democracy. We can't talk about 2027 without looking at security. Very, very key. And we are seeing some kind of avalanche of kidnapping here and there. Is it an agenda? Is it an attempt to scuttle elections? What should government do? We'll come to that. Outside that, the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi, a senator, former 3 times, wife of Nigerian President Oluremi Tinubu, is calling on women, come out, hold town meetings, let people know you. It goes beyond gender. It is all about numbers. Come out, participate in politics. But are there inhibitions? There should be. Some people say there are. Some say no. The women are the architects of their own fate. Is it true? We discuss this and more. My name is Ben Adam Shaman, and we have a guest who is not new here after all. He's also not new in the political terrain. He used to be a presidential candidate, Green Party of Nigeria. And of course, he holds a PhD. Of recent too, his community decided to honor him, and they call him President General Ikuano Development Union Federation. We're talking of far Abia State. He's gone there. He's representing them here and there. And I want to welcome, therefore, Dr. Sam Eke, a political analyst, a Nigerian, a true Nigerian. Sir, you're welcome once again.
Ben, thank you very much.
Once again, my name is Ben Adam Shaman. Now, sir, let's start this way.
Yeah.
Security, kidnapping is becoming almost a daily affair. Some people say these are politically motivated. What's your thinking in all of this?
Well, number one thing I have to really remind us is that security is not only important, it is necessary, and we need to declare a total emergency in every aspect of security. Because without the security of life and property, there won't be any sane environment for development to strive. That being the case, I've always said it, times without number, that we are not yet sincere with ourselves when it comes to security. We need to be deliberate about this thing. We need to be intentional, and we need to call a spade, not just a working material, by making sure that everyone does his job once security is involved. Because without it, the welfare of the people cannot be guaranteed, their life is insecure, and at the same time, there won't be any progress. You can see the farmers cannot go to the farm. So it affects every aspect of us, and even foreign investors are not coming in because we have insecurity in Nigeria. And I want to tell you that looking backwards, some years ago, a lot of people have called for state policing. There is no time that is more appropriate than now. I will not only stop at calling for state policing or state police creation, I will also move further to say that the vigilante groups will also do a lot to help. Because even our hunters in the villages that we can sort of overlook, they know the terrain when it comes to our forests. In every locality, once you get the locals there, they will be able to know the terrain and will be able to report appropriately to relevant authorities, only if we are sincere to solve the problem of insecurity.
Now, let's look at it geographically.
Yeah.
You see, when the Niger Delta was hot, other parts of the country were feeling, oh, it does not concern them.
Yeah.
Then, northeastern part of Nigeria, Boko Haram came. Other people felt, oh, it's not our issue. It still came to Southwest, where we have kidnapping and banditry. terrorism combined. You know, others were feeling, it doesn't, Southwest is stable, so therefore what? Central Nigeria, look at what is happening in Nasarawa, look at Plateau, look at Kogi State, look at Niger State. Now, it is so palpable there. Today, we are seeing this penetration into the Southwest that was said to be stable. And you had the issues in the southeastern part of the country. Do you think there's an agenda in all of this?
I wouldn't rule out an agenda, but I do not think that anyone that is sincere enough, that loves his country, will involve himself in such agenda. But I want to look at a situation whereby there is a penetration in our military setting. We call it the Navy, the Army, or the Air Force, because these are the hardcore military. I do not support a situation whereby you will have somebody who is a repentant terrorist. And at the end of the day, no matter what you are going to do for that person, I have said it here before time, don't bring the person close to our military. Do not, no matter how repentant the person becomes, don't bring the person close to our military. So by the time we try as much as possible to take away politics from the Navy, from the Army, and from the Air Force, we will regain our lost glory. And I have also repeatedly stated that the Nigerian military are the best, or one of the best, for fear of exaggeration, when it comes to artillery. If that is the case, most of these problems we are having now, they are not air-raided. They are on the ground. So the Nigerian Army, and even with other paramilitaries assisting while they take the lead role, will be able to conquer this problem. We'll be able to overcome this problem if only there is sincerity of purpose. If only everyone, all the federating states, are working together for the progress of the project Nigeria. Because if we are not doing that, that will lead to what we refer to in management as crowding out effect. You are bringing in maybe 10 million naira to solve the problem, and what is getting out of the problem is more than 10 million naira, and you will not say that it will not hold water. So we need a security network that will be deliberate, that will be intentional, and go all out. And we don't need a situation whereby people will be treated with kid glove again. Looking at what has happened in every part of this country, not just the Southwest, not just the Northeast, not just the Southeast, we need to come to a conclusion that these people does not mean well for the country Nigeria. And if they don't mean well for the country Nigeria, once total military power is deployed, the better for us.
Now, I know you are saying this, that Nigerian military should have nothing to do with repentant Boko Haram
terrorists, anything.
Because
you don't negotiate with them.
Yes. Some days ago, it was said that, and a photograph of someone in uniform, they said he was a repentant militant or terrorist that was absorbed into the Nigerian army, and that he left with his own military, the guns and all that. The military is yet to deny or comment on this, you know. And so it's understandable. But again, some people will say each time there appears to be election, you begin to have intensified cases of kidnapping. When Jonathan was about facing election, Chibok came on board. And thereafter, Jonathan left. When Buhari came, you had Dapchi, girls again in Yobe, you know. Now we have this election, we are seeing attacks in schools, kidnapping. We had it in Papiri in Niger State. Now we have in Oyo State. And so, how do we interpret this? Are people seeing it right, or is it just mere coincidence?
It's a coincidence, so to say, because ordinarily we have not done enough to arrest this situation. Because if we have done enough to arrest this situation, there won't be any reoccurrence. Do you understand me? Having said that, I want to believe that looking back, for example, using the Oyo case scenario, I wouldn't believe that anybody in the Southwest will sabotage this government through that means. If it needed to be, it will not be from the Southwest. Am I communicating? So I want to believe very well because I was born and brought up there. So, and I know how the mentality of almost every region in this country operates. So I do not believe it's a sabotage. The government of the day have not done enough. They have not done enough. You cannot have your house on fire. You are tending to problems that are not important as at that, and it's not even urgent. And you cannot have your house burning and you'll be busy running after rats, running after inconsequential issues. These are what we are talking about. The government needs to demonstrate it. If you are a CNC, you are the one in charge, and there is a kidnapping that have just taken place. There is a total failure of security before 1 or 2 days to your scheduled travel outside the country. All you need to do is to call off the travel and attend to that important issue. But failure to do that does not really portray you as a leader that is capable to handle the situation. You must call it off because as much as any havoc can be, if there is no loss of human life, the havoc can still be managed. But once human life, you and I, we are not capable of creating, we are not capable of manufacturing, is taken, then there is a real problem. That's why the Yorubas will tell you that once the king's house is engulfed in fire and no life is lost, that means the king's house will be better. But once even one single soul is lost in that incident, it becomes a very bad omen.
Now, you're saying this also reminds me of, do I call it a political culture? You see, so many Yoruba people will always believe in their own.
Yeah.
And one, however, is worried that the Orire kidnapping and the subsequent killing of some of the, especially the teacher that was beheaded, you can see the National Union of Teachers, student bodies, and NLC is threatening to join.
Yeah.
And the opposition is so vehement, so strong in the Southwest. Does it say a message? Does it pass a message to President Tinubu? That is
opposition from where?
I mean, the unions,
okay.
The unions
yeah.
from Yoruba people are also now so much opposing the president when it comes to this issue.
Ben, let's calm down. Let us be more serious with this whole issue. You see, opposing the government of the day because of this incident, it is not enough to demonstrate the incapacity and the incapability of this government to take the bull by the horn. It's not. Am I communicating? That has not demonstrated your rejection of their inability to perform. What will really tell me there is an opposition is when you get to the poll, you say, oh, we gave you, you say, 1 year you are going to do this, you do this, and at the end of the day, you didn't do it. Because of that, let us test this. That is when I will talk about opposition. What you are seeing now, to me, is mere drama. I don't believe in it.
Okay, let us take that it is mere drama.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
From a president who is from the Southwest,
exactly.
And from citizens from Southwest.
Exactly.
Now, look at the case of northeastern part of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Virtually the same time.
Yeah.
Students were also kidnapped.
Okay.
They are still being held, but the North appears to be asleep. So how do we compare this?
You see, you cannot force a nation. Remember, the North is just not like a nation. The South is a nation coming together to be a country. Am I communicating? The North is not used to opposition. Do you understand? The major people that are used to opposition and that have always had the tools for opposition and can always do it when they feel that they are touched is the Southwest. Because you can remember that when Jonathan was there, If you remember very well the amount of population he got from the Southwest, are we seeing it in this Tinubu administration? The answer is no. So you don't overnight expect an average Northerner that has been conservative in nature to become that radical and become an opposition person. It is natural. And you don't also overnight expect the Southeastern person who has been Republican in nature, am I communicating, to become conservative overnight. So what they are just reacting to is because they are involved and it has touched them. You see, when you carry the corpse of another person's mother or another person's father or another person's brother or sister, and you are passing away, he who is not concerned will think that it is a log of firewood that you are carrying. It's just because this thing is happening in the Southwest. That's where you are seeing the little they are doing. If they want to demonstrate it, they then go to the pool and demonstrate it. Because as far as I'm concerned, this government has not demonstrated capacity to handle the security situation in this country. They have not demonstrated it. They are more concerned in re-election than governance. And meanwhile, good governance guarantees you a second term. It is even when you get to a second term that you can be doing all these things and people will allow you, but it's ordinarily true. If you're a good statesman or a good leader, you shouldn't do that. But the fact remains that in first term, you are supposed to have done more than enough job to put your edge, to give you an edge over competition with your rivals. But that is not the case in this situation. Everyone is complaining. Anyone you see writing on paper, trying to defend the government of the day is just doing that on the basis of tribe, on the basis of religion, and on the basis of self-entitlement or what he is getting from the government. It's not that we are on the right path as far as the country is concerned. Otherwise, you wouldn't see the opposition having the momentum they are having of recent, and even in the last 2-3 years.
So, still talking about this kidnapping.
Yeah.
Some people say an attack on one is an attack on all.
Accepted.
But you can see that there's the allegation from the north that there is so much attention paid to the south, like it's happening in Orire and some other communities like that.
Yeah.
So whereas in the north, I mean, that the federal government is not giving equal attention. What's your take on that? My
take on that is just too simple for everyone to understand. Most northern leaders have not been sincere enough. I keep on talking about sincerity. Most northern leaders have not been sincere enough. Be it from the Fulani bloc, be it from the core northern bloc, they have not been sincere enough to fight insecurity in the north. And any attempt for you to come in fully to fight insecurity, they will turn it as if you are working against the North homogeneity, and which is not the case. Because by the time the whole people rise up and say this illegality will not work, especially when they have the backing of the government, all this rubbish will stop. But most who is who in the North and some religious leaders are not speaking out against this insecurity. So how come? Who is providing the private jet, the headquarters that are supplying foods to the people terrorizing the whole nation in the forests? You want to tell me that it is these young gangs, these young men that are the ones sponsoring this? We need to accept, believe, agree to the point that we want this project to work.
Project Nigeria.
Nigeria to work. It's very, very jama for us to agree on that. If we don't agree on that, nothing stops us to come back to the round table. After all, this whole thing got expired in 2014. 100 years. Nothing stops us to come back to the round table and say, look, this project is not working. For goodness sake, there are some countries within Africa and some other places, even the vertical city, there is no state in Nigeria that is not bigger than the vertical city. And the vertical city is a country. Am I communicating? So what stops us? People can go their way. If we don't want to be sincere with ourselves, and if we don't want the project to work, the project Nigeria, if we want it to work, all hands must be on deck. And we condemn any evil activities that have been working against the project Nigeria from working. We cannot have two sets of law for the same citizens in the country. You will tell me today, Nnamdi Kanu is somewhere. Is he still in jail? I asked you. Fine. But where are those who have also committed atrocities and also involved in this insecurity, even coming up to claim for damages, for loss of life that they cause? Where are they? So this is
some people will say, okay, Nnamdi Kanu has been jailed. Just how many days ago, those who did the killing in Catholic Church in Ondo State have also faced the law. You're also having Kabiru Sokoto, who is also languishing in prison. Some of these people are supposed to die by hanging, so to speak. Some will say the law is taking its course. But again, others will say, yeah, there are some people, if you give them the chance, this issue of repentance, this issue of giving amnesty by the president can actually correct some of these anomalies. Like the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Some people are saying it could be reviewed. It should be reviewed.
Unless you want us to go full-blown on that, but that of Nnamdi Kanu does not only should be reviewed, he should be discharged and acquitted unconditionally. Because ab initio, you cannot build illegality on top of illegality. Because you can't see a man who was on bail and he was not running away. You invaded where he is with the intention to kill him. At the end of the day, his father, his parents, and some other people lost their life. And many, many people, properties destroyed and things like that. You expect the man to stand one place until you come and kill him. The man must look for a way out. Okay. And if you have to bring him in, there is process. So on that case, I think I don't want us to go into that because it will be before the court of law. Okay. But I want to tell you that as far as this country is concerned, those in power have not done enough to provide security for life and property. That is the primary duty of any government. Number one priority duty, according to Section 14 of our Constitution. So since that has not been done, there is no way you can achieve any other thing.
But you see, it's said that former President Olusegun Obasanjo actually went to Sokoto to see Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Now, no one knows the agenda he was trying to set, including the government. But they said Nnamdi said he will not see him. Yes. Even though that's his democratic right. Yes, but again, one would have thought that, if someone of that caliber wanted to see him, knowing the position of Obasanjo in Project Nigeria, one would have thought that Nnamdi would have said, oh, Papa, yes, welcome. And maybe some home truths spoken, and they have thereafter sent to government. What do you think?
I thank you that you said he has the right. I do not know when somebody's right is not lower than privileges. That is his right, and he has exercised his right.
He would prefer to stay there and discuss with...
That is his right, not to see. He has his reasons not to see him. And nobody can fault him on that.
But don't you think that could be I'm not speaking for Obasanjo, neither for government. But then, don't you think maybe there's an agenda behind it? Say, okay, let's see a man who can talk to Nnamdi Kanu quietly somewhere. And Obasanjo went unannounced. Not until this thing failed that people got to know.
There is no talking you want to talk to Nnamdi Kanu, or they have not been talking, than drop what you are fighting for. And if a man has chosen a cause for which he wants to live for or die for, it's a worthy cause to him, before him, he can uphold it.
Well, some people are comparing some footages where they saw Eastern Security Network enforcing a stay-at-home order, and some school children were flogged. Then here you are, Boko Haram people, in fact, Lakurawa people, flogging some children, and they've taken in Oyo State, and they said, you see what we mean? That kind of a thing. Does it not sound worrying to everybody?
It all depends on how you are looking at it. Because it should be worrying if you have a government that knows its onus. Do you know what you're supposed to do? Are you doing it? Am I communicating? If you're a government that does not know what you're supposed to do, and if you're not doing it, because you can also see the difference between, I'm not supporting the Eastern Network for sit at home or any other thing. But the school children was okay, on Mondays, don't go to school. And they were flogged for going to school. Is that not what you're saying?
Yeah.
And for this other one that were taken into captivity
And flogged.
Which one is a better treatment? Be frank with you. Even despite the fact that
human rights are universal.
If human rights are universal, and maybe your son gets to the school, the teacher caned your son, and instead of terrorists coming to the school to kidnap your son, which one do you prefer?
Well, you see, if a teacher canes my son in school for failing to do a homework, it is correctional in nature. But when you are taken against your wish, against, you don't even know where you are, there's that confinement, there's the torture, there's the beating, then human rights abuses, in fact, gross human rights, and they are criminal in nature.
Accepted. But in the case in the Southeast, you will see that even on Mondays, as I speak with you, I'm just coming from Abia State, not up to 1 week. There are businesses going on Monday. The students are going to school and every other thing. And this is where Nani Kalo comes from. So that is a different ball game altogether from kidnapping, killing, maiming, raping. That is happening in other parts of the country.
Okay. Now let's come back to an issue you raised. You said the time to have state police, community policing, can't be better than now.
Exactly.
Time has come, therefore.
Exactly.
You know, why do you say so?
You see, we must tell ourselves the truth. That this mistake we make, there's no problem sending a policeman from Nasarawa to Abia State. But believe you me, it will take him years before he can know the terrain. But when you recruit a policeman from Abia, an indigenous of Abia, into the state police or Nigeria police, and you domicile him there, where he knows the terrain, it will be very difficult for the outsider who is coming in as a terrorist or a kidnapper to undo him with his limited knowledge. But if the person is new, he can't even identify those who are really into the problem and those who are not into the problem. So that is why we need a total blending of the state police and the federal police to fight. It is long time overdone for we to have the state and the federal police so that they can fight crime effectively.
But you can see the submission by the Office of the Inspector General of Police to the National Assembly. They are simply saying, okay, the police force as it is now, just take people from their state of origin as in service now, they are just deployed back to their states. Is that the best way, or there should be clean slate, start a police force that is state control?
You see, one of the major problems in this federation, federal system of government, we copied from America, which we didn't copy into that totally, comprehensively, is a situation whereby people will believe you can keep on deceiving everybody at the same time. It cannot work out. By the time you take the Nigeria police back to his state of origin, he won't be reporting to the governor. He's still reporting to his command through the commissioner of police and every other people back to Abuja. So the security officer, the chief security officer, ordinarily on paper, that is the governor, will just be there, armless. Am I communicating with you? The time you call in and you say, I'm coming, the report he may be given to you may not be the same that you're sending to Abuja. Yes. And at times, even the governor, you will see an SS will be sent to him. Whatever thing that he is doing, unknowingly to him, is done in Abuja here. So we need a situation whereby we can give somebody a responsibility and also give him the enormous authority to be able to execute the responsibility that he has been given. The state governors need a state police. I also know that some state governors, out of their own negative attitude, may now try to use it against their oppositions in the state. After all, the same happens at the federal level. But there should be a way of check and balance. But we need them to be in charge so that when things happen like it happened in Oyo, the man will not have any road, any way to escape from not being held responsible for that action. But now you cannot hold the governor responsible.
The program is Democracy in Action, and we are reaching you via Third Eye Africa TV. My name is Ben Adam Shaman, and our guest is Dr. Sam Eke, former presidential candidate of Green Party. I will just go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at it. Is there some concern as expressed by the First Lady of Nigeria? She's asking, where are the women in the present political dispensation now that campaigns are going on? Where are they? We'll come to all of that. Once again, this is Third Eye Africa TV.
The first reason why matters are prolonged and thereby having cold files, according to you, is because poorness of investigation. Other reasons why we have cold files are the procedural system in our adversarial adjudication.
Interference on the part of the government. That interference is the one that usually become a backlog in the wheel of prosecution counsel.
No matter how stupid any corrupt man is, if he's going with billions of naira, be sure that he will have part of that billion aside to fight and defend the corruption. Part of the defense is protraction, delay of the trial.
The politicization in Nigeria is one of the core problems bedeviling our legal system. In election matters, we hardly get settled principle. They change by the day because there is political interference. Our system is structured in a way that if our prosecutory bodies want to work, the work is easy. But what I believe is if, for instance, they don't genuinely intend to prosecute, if it's just to persecute the person, they want you to just stay in prison, do the media trial, presenting that this person is being charged for this, charged for that. I think sometimes it's a case of the prosecutor being responsible and the person being prosecuted also being responsible.
This is where we focus critically on numerous unresolved cases in the Nigerian and African judiciaries. My name is Charles Agedu. Join me on Cold Files, a chronology of unresolved crime cases, only on Third Eye Africa TV.
Welcome back. Before we went on break, we were saying we'll discuss the concern of the Nigerian First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, former senator. 3 times she went there, and she's saying that she's not seeing the vibrancy of women in today's political dispensation. The worrying thing is that today we're talking about 109 senators.
109 senators.
Senators in Nigeria.
360
Among them, only 4 are women. When you're talking about 360 House of Reps members, only around 24 are women out of 360. Then at the state level, you have all state assembly, combine all the lawmakers there. There are around 991. Where are the women? This is what she's asking. Are her questions genuine?
Her questions are not genuine because she has not done enough to carry the women folks around. And no true mother will be involved in politics when her children are held hostage. What is she politicking for? Who is she fighting for a better society for? Am I communicating? So the first thing the First Lady should have done is to ensure that she will help in a way to make sure that those children are released. Because that is the concentration of every mother that is what has sought as a mother. Otherwise, calling on women now to come and involve in political settings, is it the one we are seeing? This abracadabra that they are doing in the name of primaries, you're going to see a lot of way below required standard. That's what we are going to get. The standard we're going to have something that is very low. Because apart from the fact there are good people who want to contest, you cannot run direct primaries successfully in this, our nation, the way it is configured now. And the lawmakers, they knew that before they cited that in.
Now, one is worried, yes, you either have, yes, you have many aspirants.
Yeah.
Then for there to be one candidate, it should either come by the way of direct primaries election, or you do consensus. Say, oh, a governor will just come out and say, this is the consensus candidate. And even at that, you see that today, those who said or are told they have won, they've not been given any flag, no certificate of return. You find all the parties, or virtually all of them, saying, look, we are still vetting. Why this kind of a suspense?
Because what emanated or what they received from the feed was just a child's play. It was not what they expected. In fact, all the parties do not have the capacity to run direct primaries successfully. How do you want INEC to supervise direct primaries? Is it today that we have been clamoring for another body that will be in charge of election and election monitoring? It's not today. We have said it time without number. We have said it many times that INEC needs to be unbundled. You need to unbundle INEC. They don't have the capacity. The political parties don't have the capacity. I'm a seasoned political administrator, that you know. I'm not trying with every spirit of modesty. So I know what even my colleagues that are still in the field can achieve. You cannot just bring up somebody and throw in 20,000 people and say, go and start controlling them. So that was why the issue of indirect primaries, where delegates will come, that are passed through a process. People will start during Abiola time. We did direct primaries, didn't we?
Yeah.
Option A4. Is that not? Now I ask you a question. How many political parties do we have that time?
Just two.
Now that is it. That was what made it very easy. And do you remember that elections were taken up simultaneously?
Sure.
And they were taken up simultaneously, this NRC, this SDP. If you are for this, if you are for this, am I communicating? But remember that the emergence wasn't through direct primaries. Carry? They went for convention. Is that? They had delegates. Whereby Babagana Kingiba, you remember? So fine. So, but on election day, it was option A4. So it is either you are here or you are there. But in this case, we have no less than, how many political parties? No less than 16, 17, 18 political parties. And at the end of the day, you want direct primaries to work. How can it work? Because there is no means, INEC does not even have the capacity to be able to verify those who are the real party members of the particular party on that day that will be having that election. Assuming that party ABC is having direct primary in Use, around Use Market. Every other member, in fact, it's an all-comer event. How do you want to check it? You don't have the capacity. The political parties don't have the machinery. They don't have the manpower to do that job. So it was overwhelmed. They were overwhelmed with the outcome. They were overwhelmed with the presence of the people. And the same people you saw here today, you are going to see the other side.
And that's against the law.
That's against the law.
Belong to.
But I want to tell you, those who made that provision knew what they provided for. You can imagine a senator, whether the leadership or not, still promising, don't worry, those of you that lost, we are still talking to the party to see what we are going to do about it. Am I communicating? We are not just serious in this country.
And everybody, virtually all the political parties forgot how to count numbers.
My brother, he couldn't have worked.
1, 2, 20.
I knew
500, 1,000.
Personally, Ben, I knew they were just joking. They were just joking. In most cases, now what you are seeing is the highest bidder getting the ticket.
Because one was, I was wondering, if you had Mohammed Hayatuddin in Maiduguri,
yes,
then Atiku Abubakar Adamawa, then you had Rotimi Amechi Rivers. Now, how do you count all of these? I mean, with all this kind of jumping and adding, you don't see subtractions, you don't see division. It's addition. You now come to even APC. Okay, Tinubu was there in Lagos. Now, Osufo, you begin to just share votes, the same thing. Every other part. Internal democracy isn't there.
It's not. It wasn't there at all.
Do we therefore have fears for 2027?
Yes, because one, at the end of the day, most people that will be nominated as candidates will not be what the people actually want. You will see some people, you are going to see offset here and there too. And you can see the maneuvering, you can see people losing primary shares, and I know there are windows, but what I'm trying to say in effect is that as a seasoned political party administrator of repute, take it anyway, I want to tell you that what we have just done was just a total mess. We didn't improve upon the years. There is no sign that we invested a lot of resources, human and capital, into INEC, into our electoral system. In fact, the NGOs will just be laughing at what is happening because even they could not monitor anything, they could not follow, they could not observe. But everybody was just overwhelmed. Before you know it, Jack Robinson, they have done what they want to do. They are going back to Abuja, telling you that we announce it in Abuja and all those things. If you had a transparent process, everybody will see it at that venue. The person will march there. The person will announce it there. The returning officer will announce it there. No, if you are not doing this, is it not the same thing they want to do for us at the end of the day by voting? Look at it now. So, frankly speaking, I am really, really disappointed with the process.
One would have also thought that, each time there were elections, INEC is always in a haste to update its portal. You can see that INEC too has gone to bed. Is it that they don't know who has won anywhere or something?
You cannot update your portals when you have not been supplied with the outcome of the results. Most of the parties have not given INEC what they really did at the field. Meanwhile, in the actual term, those days when we were in charge, political administrators, INEC man that is living there already knows their candidate as governor, as House of Rep. Am I communicating? So once you go to Abia to do your primary for Abia, and they come to observe, from there, you don't even need to come and tell you. They will tell you because they saw it, they were present when it happened. Most of the things that was done, INEC were not there.
Then a worrying thing when it comes to In fact, Nigerians are worried.
Yeah.
Like this continuous voter registration exercise that has taken place, that INEC has been assuring Nigerians is leak-proof. Now, the spokesman for Wike, Lere, by his name, decided to pull out a surprise. He got the details of a Nollywood actor and brought it out, published in his own X account. People were surprised. How did this man break into INEC portal? Some people are saying he ought to be by now arrested. But here we are. So these are things that can, throw spanners into the works of INEC. When government officials are giving what you call secret items belonging to individuals. How do you see this?
I think the law enforcement agent need to do their job. They need to call him for questioning, let him give them an explanation. By now, in a strange country, he should be cooling off in their system, explaining what he knows and what has gone wrong or gone right. But this is Nigeria, like you said, whereby a phone call from one man can dissolve the whole situation.
But, breaking into, therefore, the results of elections, if today we are seeing, is there a chain? Are there people already planted to destroy a system?
The thing is this, as an internal control person too, because if you belong to the financial world, you can also come to the conclusion there is no 100% proof that a system cannot be broken. Because what it takes is this. By the time you build an internal control, it all depends on the faithfulness of those that have the code. Am I communicating? How faithful are they? Are they faithful and loyal to their bosses or to the system? And which of the system are they faithful to? The one that created it or the one that has an interest to undo other co-competitors in the race? So those are the things you need to ask. Human beings were in charge of that. And it also takes a human being to compromise it. So having said that, there needs to be a thorough investigation to know how he was able to overcome that. And he should explain to Nigerians.
While waiting for that, there's this special seat for women bill at the National Assembly and all state assemblies. It's expected that when elections are on, the women must have, by way of law, this one belongs to women, no man. But it looks like the heat, the zeal that we were seeing in the National Assembly is like this election has punctured everything.
Okay, in the first place, you see, you cannot force a horse to the stream and also force the horse to drink water. The women, they need to be assured of their safety. They need to be assured of the credibility of the process before they can really give all they have into it. It also starts from political parties. I will always use myself as an example. As a former political party administrator, what I did was, in the first instance, I happened to be the first national chairman to make a woman a national secretary of a party. And that was just in 2013. No woman before then was a national secretary of a party. You can go and check through INEC record. Some other people will say, but the actual thing is that no woman has ever occupied that position. It could have been national chairman, national chairperson, or the national secretary, where the whole activity of the party revolved around. I happened to be the first. And also, I came up with an idea to say, okay, for every position, you have a substantive position and the assistant or the deputy. Once the person that is in the substantive position is a male, the next person should be a female. We call it twinning. So that by so doing, you can carry them along. But unfortunately too, even when we had an agreement, there was a time I gave an open challenge both to women organization, campaign. I say, look, leave the ruling party. Come and take ticket. If you are popular, what you need is to take a ticket, go to your people. Your popularity, House of Assembly, House of Rep, will make you elected. Most of them were not willing to. Am I communicating? They wanted to go to where the competition is so stiff. And that place that the competition is so stiff, they cannot just dash you power. Because the other place where the competition is not so stiff, they also need members to grow. And they are opening their doors to you. You don't want to take advantage of it. When you get to England, by the time many years ago when Margaret Thatcher was in charge of England, was she given the power or she fought for it, she worked for it, and she earned it? So let us not be setting unnecessary standards that are not attainable. I'm not against helping women. Okonji Iweala, the Obi of this world, the Arumete them. I can keep on calling both the richest person in the woman in the country, Alakeja. I can call a lot of them. Were they giving this money on free bonus? Were they giving power? They work for it. They work for it. Jokingly, after all, they said, what a man can do, a woman can do better. Let them do better.
No, I think the women have amended it. They said what the man can do,
yeah,
a woman can do equally.
Equally. Then if it's equally, let them come out. But I don't blame them so much. Because no woman likes to stay in a place that is not secured. The insecurity in the country is a very big blow to that.
So outside insecurity, it means there are other factors that are standing against women.
Yeah, other factors that will be standing against them is also high cost of nomination form. I also dislike the way political party see this period of election as a means to make billions. They should reduce their nomination form so that it can be affordable, especially to the women. In some cases, they should also consider the young ones running for elections. Because if somebody is a youth, a young lady, a young man that is running for election and you're expecting the person to go and get 20 million, 10 million for nomination form, you have already discredited the person. You have already disqualified the person. There is no intention for you to allow that person to run.
Mm. So, your people decided that you are the President General, Equiano Development Union.
Yeah.
A big task for you at the grassroots level, so to speak. You are the national, at the local too, they say, come, start it also from home. So what is it that you have to do for them politically?
I've already been doing a lot before now. Because if I've not been doing a lot before now, they wouldn't have considered me worthy for this position. And this position was not given. It was keenly contested for. I contested against a former local government chairman, somebody who was also a retired major in the Nigerian Army, somebody that is doing very well, an illustrious son of the local government too. But you see, there comes a time in the life of a people when they want change, when they want to move forward, when they believe that the narrative has to change positively. And that was what stood out outrightly for me. And you know, as an individual, if you cook for the public, it won't even be sufficient for 10 of them. But if the public cook for you, you cannot finish it. How many stomachs do you have? So the individual is actually owned by his people and not him owing his people. When they approached me, initially I never wanted to because I'm fully occupied at the national level. But they really appealed to my conscience and said, look, we want you to handle this development union for us, in charge of all the whole local government, working in touch with the local government, with the state, and possibly with the federal government to attract developmental projects to us. And this position covers both those who are at home and in the diaspora.
So
you say
you're a kind of a political magnet that will bring in development.
so to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they expect so much from you.
They expect so much from me. And you can imagine leaving my family here for the past almost close to after 5 months, travel December, I couldn't come back until just 1 week ago. And a lot of persons were like, are you no more going now? You need to be around. You need to take a lot of stock. You need to really move around into the interiors to know what is happening, feel the pulse of the people, because you cannot be far from them and actually know what is happening.
So it looks like some political parties will be looking for you.
They are looking for me. Also, on my own accord, for me to have that total embracement from almost every one of them, I decided I'm not going to be a member of any political party. So I can walk to Party A, Party B, Party C, Party Y, Z, attract development. And when you see me with your co-contestant, you will not say I have taken side, or you see me with Party YZ, you will not say I am now a member of that party. For now, I'm partyless. I am concerned about development of that place. From there, we take it to the state and even come to the national.
So you don't believe in sit down look, as Bola Ige will say?
No.
You must participate.
I will have to participate.
Well, it is here that we have to end this edition of Democracy in Action, and we've spoken about the local aspect, even in Abia State. We've spoken about Nigeria. We've spoken about security, insecurity. We're talking about the integrity of INEC and protecting voters' voters' card, voters' portals, and all that stuff. So we hope that INEC will also give Nigerians the sense to believe that they can always do what is expected of them. I want to thank you, sir, talking of former presidential candidate, Green Party of Nigeria, Dr. Sam Eke. Thank you for coming to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you, dear.
My name is Ben Adam Shaman, and like we usually say, we all are proudly Nigerian.
Nigeria. Thank you.
The Nigerian project
Must work.
it must work. Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Bless you.